G'day foodies, and welcome back to Matthew's Culinary Corner. Look, I'm back from Hong Kong. I've had an amazing trip, and as you can see by the intro, there's a lot going on in Hong Kong, and it's a lovely place. But now I'm back in my kitchen in Sydney, Australia, and I thought we'll look at Mum's recipes and see if we can make a lovely Chinese meal. And I noticed that she's got down some prawn and pork dumplings, wontons, and a wonton soup. So that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make prawn and shrimp wonton soup. Okay, for the ingredients, I actually got some bought wonton wrappers, but you can make them yourself. I've actually made them myself previously, but I thought keep it quick. Got some shiitake mushrooms, which are fresh. You can get the dried ones and use those by boiling them. I've got 150 grams of pork. I've got 200 grams of shrimp. I've got a teaspoon of garlic, and I've got a teaspoon of ginger. I also have a teaspoon of sesame oil. I have 50 grams of Chinese water chestnuts. I've got a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of sugar, and I've got a tablespoon and a half of Chinese cooking wine. And I've also got a tablespoon and a half of corn flour. Now, what we're going to do is pretty simple. We're actually going to put it all together in the food processor. We're going to start off with the mince and the shrimp and the water chestnut, and then put the other ingredients in. We're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to put it into our wrappers. We're going to use the shiitake mushrooms and the spring onions for our soup. Okay, we're ready to bring everything together. We're just going to use the kitchen whiz, and I'm just going to put the pork, the shrimp, the chestnuts, and then we're going to blend that quickly. Great. So now we're just going to add the other ingredients. So we've got our garlic, our ginger. Of course, there's many variations. Oh, our teaspoon of sugar. Pinch of salt. Our sesame oil, our Chinese wine, and our corn flour, just to bind it all. Now you could add in some spring onions into this. For this one we're not going to, but definitely an option. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take it out of the blender and we'll put it into a bowl. Okay, now we have our mince all ready to go. Prawn and pork. We grab a wonton wrapper. As I say, you can easily make these yourself. I did do it once at a party in London that I was having, because I didn't even know you could buy them. It's ridiculous. So I spent half my day doing that. It came out really well though. I just used my finger and put some water around the edges of the wonton wrapper. Then I put a little bit of filling in, maybe just under a tablespoon. And then we just, actually it's a bit much, and then we just go and from one side to the other in a triangle. Okay, pinch it down. You want to make sure it's nice and sealed so that when you boil it, it's not going to come out all over the place. And there we go. we have our wonton. Now I'm going to make the rest, and then I'm going to show you how to make the soup. Great, so we've got enough to start with, and what we're going to do is we're going to boil these, and we'll make a soup, and we'll have the shiitake mushrooms and the spring onions in a bowl, and we'll pour the soup over that with the wontons. So that's what we're going to do now. Many variations. This is just the one that that Mum has, so I'm quite delighted to try this one. Okay. So for the soup, I've got 1.5 liters of chicken stock. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and then 1/4 cup of any wine, Mum says. So I've got some lovely New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, so I'll have that a bit later. And we're going to use the sesame oil. We're just going to dribble that over the bowl with the wontons and the vegetables just at the very end. Okay, so let's boil the soup. Well, let's get the soup up to boiling, and then we can cook our wontons actually in the soup, and then we'll use that. Let's give that a go. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is get the soup up to a boil, and then we simply put our dumplings in, and then the dumplings themselves will actually show that they're cooked when they rise up. So this usually only takes about 30 seconds to a minute. The wonton wrap is very light, and the pork and shrimp mixture will cook very quickly in the boiling soup. Okay, so now we've got our soup, we've got our wontons. Let's cut up some vegetables and put them in a bowl and have a lovely wonton soup. Great, so just because it's just me here, I'm just going to take some of the mushrooms and some of the spring onions. Then I'm going to take some of the soup, pour it over. Now I'm just going to add my wontons. I love them, so I'm going to have at least 4. And there we have it. Pork and shrimp wonton soup with some shiitake mushrooms and spring onions. Oh, let's add that little bit of sesame oil. Lovely. Okay, let's give it a go, eh? Let's try the soup. Oh, really nice. I would say that's very authentic. And you've got that nice smoky flavour from the shiitake mushrooms. Very nice. Let's try the wonton. Really good, and just in time for lunch. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.